Good afternoon, student. So this is Madhuri. So today I will explain about PAM, which is of the fourth unit. We are going to do revision of the fourth unit, PAM, pulse amplitude modulation. What is pulse amplitude modulation? Okay. So in the modulation we have already discussed in the last class pulse modulation. Pulse modulation, where the pulse will be changing with respect to the time. In pulse modulation we have PAM, PPM and PWM. Okay, so first we talk about PAM, pulse amplitude modulation. Here the amplitude changes instantaneously with respect to the time. So here if you see, this is an amplitude of an input signal. So here the amplitude is changing with respect to the instantaneous time of value. Okay, where the amplitude will be changing according to the given time. Okay, but here the phase and the frequency is constant, only the amplitude changes. Okay, so here we are taken at here the samples are taken at regular intervals of time. Each sample is pulse, where the amplitude is determined by amplitude of the variance. Okay, so now we are going to do a generation of PAM. How we can generate is very easy to generate and demodulate a PAM signal. Okay, signal we need to convert it to PAM by fed through the switch which we are using here. Okay, so this is a block diagram of a PAM generation, where we are using a low pass filter, multiplier, pulse shaping, pulse sampling network, or pulse shaping network, or pulse train here. Okay, so initially when we are passing an M of t signal, okay, here I am sending an N of t. M of t is a message signal which are passed through the low pass filter. Okay, as we know, the low pass removes all the frequency components which are higher than FM, that is higher than frequency level. Okay, it will allow only low frequencies. Okay, once the low pass filter is filtered only low, then we can know the band limiting. Okay, when we know the band limiting, how much the band should increase or decrease depends upon the low pass filter. So the band limiting is necessary to avoid the aliasing. What is aliasing? Means interconnection of two waves which is causing a noise in the signal. So that we can avoid by using this. Okay, so here we are using a pulse generator. The pulse train generator generates a pulse train at regular intervals of time. Okay, so once the low pass filter is sending the signals, the multiplier will multiply the low pass filter signal and the pulse train generator. What does the generator use? It gives a pulse train generation like this. Okay, it will generate the pulse train generates a pulse train at a frequency of Fs such that Fs is always greater than 2Fm. Okay, so by this we can find out the Nyquist criteria. Okay, so this is a pulse generator where we are sending, it is indirectly we are calling it as carrier signal. For every input we will give a carrier signal. So indirectly this is a carrier signal which we are giving as a pulse train generator, which will go on generating the pulse. Okay, with respect to the low pass filter signals. Okay, now it is forming a Nyquist rate. When this rate is there, then only we can send the signal without aliasing. Aliasing means intersection of two waves which is causing a noise in a signal and the error is occurred. So that can be reduced by this condition. Fs is the centered frequency, it should always be greater than or equal to Fm. Okay, so now the criteria is satisfied by the pulse sampling network does the shaping work of given flap top. So this is the input signal M of t. This is a pulse generator. This is the M of t signal which we are giving from here, and this is a pulse generator signal which we are giving from here. When this both multiplied and it is giving to pulse shaping network, what is the wave we get? This is a natural PM. which we get after the multiplier. After the multiplier we get the signal, okay, like this. But if you observe the way here, the edges are bending according to the amplitude of the input signal. Okay, here the edges are bending according to the input signal, which is we are calling it as amplitude. Okay, this is a natural PAM. But if we want to know the flat top PAM, flat top PAM is nothing but the edges will not be bending. It will give as a sharp observers here. Okay, but it will be within the amplitude only. Sometimes it may come out minute, that we can reduce by using some other filtration techniques. Okay, so why we need to convert into a natural PAM into a flat top PAM is to know the edge signal of everyone here, every signal. Okay, we need to know what is the even the width of this signal, what is the amplitude variation in each pulse. If you want to know, we need to have a flat tops PAM. This flat top PAM will shape the work. It will shape the work to give the flat tops. Okay, so what we are observing from this basic diagram is here the PAM, that is the pulse amplitude modulation is changing with respect to time, and also after changing, not only we are leaving like this, we are going to reshape. So who will do this work? So this we can do. The shaping of the pulse will be done by this pulse shaping network, which we are giving to a multiplier. It will shape and it will give a flat top PAM final waveform, which is used for calculating the pulse and amplitude of the signal. Okay, so this is a generation of PAM. Okay, so we are using a low pass filter, which we are sending only a low frequency signals, and we stop the high frequency signals. And once the low pass filter will pass through a multiplier, again we have a pulse train generator, which is training, which we are having a pulses of continuous, we are having a continuous pulses here, which we are generating through a multiplier. Here the multiplier will generate whatever the signals which we are getting from input side, and the pulse multiplier will multiply and goes for a shaping pulse shaping network, which will give results of a flat top PAMs, where the edges will be sharp, not bending according to the input signal. Okay, so but here the shaping of this pulses will take place within the amplitude only. Sometimes at the corners it may come out, but maximum we see that the shaping will occur within the circuit. Okay, that we are representing as L signals. Okay, now see, this is nothing but Fs is greater than 2W is our condition, and Ts is equal to why, because we are calculating, we need to know the transmission bandwidth, what will be the bandwidth of the signal in a PAM. Okay, so Fs is equal to under root Fs is equal greater than 2W, or we can also call Ts, that is the transmission time, is less than or equal to 1 by 2W. Why? Because since Fs is equal to 1 by time is frequency, as we know, and from this we can write tau Ts is less than or equal to 1 by 2W. If on and off time of pulses is same, then the frequency of the PAM pulse will be same. Okay, so this is a transmission bandwidth of the PAM. Okay, next we'll see the PWM, pulse width modulation or pulse position modulation, where in pulse width modulation the width of the pulse will be changing. Okay, whereas in pulse position the position of the pulse will be changing according to the time. So these are the three main important concepts in the fourth unit: PAM, PPM and PWM. So in P we'll talk about PPM, very important topic. So here the position of the pulse will be changing according to the time. Okay, so here the amplitude in this, see if you see pulse time modulation, in pulse time modulation we have PW and PPM. Here the width is changing and the pulse is changing, and PPM in pulse position, the position of the pulse is changing where the amplitude is constant and the width is also a constant, right? Okay, so width, so what width, here the pulse width will be changing according to the signal. Okay, so how it is changing, which is going to use this, we'll see. If you see, this is a basic block diagram of a pulse position modulation. Here we are using a generator, a monostable multi vibrate. Okay, so in ppm, the output in ppm, here the in pulse position, the output remains high for fixed duration from the trailing edges of the PWM. So we are using a monostable multivibrator because we want only a minimum of one duration. So if we observe this equation, this is a pulse width modulation pulses. So this is the input signal, and when it is going to a trigger, when you are going to a trigger, it will trigger the pulses and gives a position. See here how the position is changing. So where there is 0 here, here it is generating the pulse. How it is changing? Because of the position of the pulse. Okay, this is, so generally what we are using here, message signal will be sent through a pulse generator. The pulse generator will use a monostable multivibrator, which is used for changing the position of the pulses. Okay, so here not only this, so this is the internal practical ppm generation circuit. Okay, so this is already I have shown you generation of ppm. Here we are using a multi vibrator. We are using a multi vibrator here, and this is a practical ppm generation circuit. Here we are using IC timer, 555 timer we are using. So it consists of a differentiator and a monostable multivibrator. So input we are giving to a differentiator in a the differentiator will generate positive and negative spike, okay, corresponding to the leading. Okay, so this is the, here when the diode D1 conducts, it will operate all the positive pulses. Okay, and it will generate a negative pulses when the diode D1 is off. Okay, and here we are using a diode which is used as a bypass positive and negative spikes. So this is the basic block diagram, basic waveform of a PWM. So this position of the pulses is very important. We need to calculate the position with respect to the time. And how is the demodulation of the ppm occur? So in ppm, it is compulsory we need to convert the received pulses into various position, so that we need to vary in layer. Okay, so this is a, here we are using a flip-flop and a PWM demodulation. Okay, and a reference pulse generator. Here whatever the signal which the position, this whatever the waveform which we got as an output, we are giving as an input to here, and we are using flip-flop. The flip-flop is used to convert the whatever the position of the original signal is changing, it will convert into an primary original input m of t. Okay, and this reference pulse generator acts as a carrier which is used as a synchronization signal with respect to the flip-flop. Now when these both two are going in the same way, generally we will have a pulse width modulation, and that we are doing as a changing as a position of the PW. Okay, first width, then pulses we can do it. Okay, so this is this circuit. Flip-flop is set or tuned on when the reference pulses are positive. Okay, so we are going to on and off according to the positive and negative pulses of the signal. Okay, Actually, this degeneration is not demodulation of PAM is not there, but we are just having a see. This is the of comparison of PAM, PWM. So here the amplitude is changing, here the pulse is changing, and here the position is changing. Okay, that is a basic difference of this three type of modulation. And here the bandwidth of the PAM, it depends upon the width of the pulse. Here the bandwidth of transmission depends upon the time of the pulse. Here it depends upon the rising time of the pulse. Same changes depends upon the rising time. It depends upon the rising time. It depends upon the width, because here we are not calculating a width here. If you see the position is varying here with respect to the width. Here the width is changing. Okay, next water is very important. If you see the instantaneous pulse of this transmitter also with respect to the amplitude pulse, here the noise interference is high, here it is minimum, and here also it is minimum. Okay, why it is high? Because here the amplitude is varying. When the amplitude is varying, more noise will be generated in the circuit. So due to this, the noise will be more. Here here the noise is minimum because only the amplitude is not varying, only the length of the signal is varying, width. Okay, so because of that we are having. And here about the position, okay, only the position is varying, no problem. But main problem is when the amplitude is keep on increasing or decreasing, there may be high noise generated in the PA. And here generating of PAM is complex, where it is implement is whether the other two are very easy to implement. Okay, if you are comparing this amplitude modulation with the pulse modulation, these three are very near. FM frequency I already discussed in AC. How we are doing a amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, same, it is similar to the pulse amplitude modulations. Okay, so that technique, these techniques are almost same. There we are taking a signal AC, here we are taking a pulse DC signal. Okay, so this is the basic difference of a PAM and PWM and PPM also. So if you see, this is the pulse position, which pulse position. So this is all. For this also we have a generation and detection similar. So here this is the input signal. Here this is a pulse generated circuit. Okay, which is we are giving as an input to a multiplier, and whatever we are getting is a pulse width amplitude, pulse width modulation. So maximum width, minimum width we can calculate, and this is pulse position. So pulse width modulation, pulse position modulation, they are both are interconnected. If you are giving a pulse width, we can get a pulse position also, because here the position is changing, width is changing, but here the length is same. If you see, only length changes, but the position is, here we are comparing, it is looking same. See what is the difference is the edge of each pulses is the starting of the next pulse, if we observe. So that is the change, the difference between pulse width and pulse modulation. If you see, every edge of this PWM is the starting of this pulse position amplitude, or like same here. Okay, so where the wave is stopping, there we are generating a signal. That is difference between pulse amplitude and pulse position and pulse width modulation. So this is the basic difference between a PWM, PAM and PPM. Thank you.